Hey guys, Ash here again from Flight Sim Reviews, and we're right about where we left off in the part 1.5 video after the startup. Let's get into navigation real quick on this plane, and we're going to go ahead and look down here. These are the IRSs, or the Inertial Reference System. It's how all aircraft know where they are and where they're going. Even modern aircraft don't use GPS to find out where they are, but they do use it, but only to tell the gyroscopes exactly where they are to start with. The idea is that if you lost your GPS, you'd be totally have no idea where you were going, so there's got to be some kind of backup system, and the backup system is the IRS. So what you do is you flip these up to nav, and that starts the gyros to spinning up and calibrating. And that takes about 5 to 8 minutes for those to come up and align. So what we're going to do while those are warming up is we're going to go up to the FMC, which is a flight management computer. And the FMC is basically a computer that does a lot of math for the pilot. It calculates best climb, where to cruise, when to raise altitude as you get lighter on fuel, how much runway length you'll need for takeoff and landing. It computes all your V-speeds. It does a lot of the math for you. It's a really nice tool to have. Basically what's going on here is it's saying database out of date because this FMS in Eaglesoft's aircraft can actually be updated with newer information. I personally don't do it because FSX's information has been out of date for quite some time, and I wouldn't want anything in the update to how shall I say it, mess up what's in mess up what's already in FSX. So I went ahead and cleared that error. You use the keypad down here and clear it. So what it's asking for here is to initialize our position. So what we're going to do is go to both of them, and we're going to use a GPS position, which is usually the most accurate. So we're going to go ahead and load that, and then it's going to go ahead and ask us for our flight plan. So just for grins, we're going to go to KAPA, which is my local airport that I fly out of. So we're going to go there, click it again, because we're not going to put any airways or SIDs or stars in. A SID is a standard instrument departure. It's a instrument way of leaving an airport for instrument rated pilots. All these type of aircrafts are obviously running on instrument flight rules, so that ATC can handle them more efficiently. So we're going to go ahead and just click this again and put it over here, and that's going to give us our direct flight to that location. So we're going to go ahead and go over to the performance initialization page, and let's say we wanted to insert our own cruise. So we're going to say FL 330, which is 33,000 feet. Go ahead and put in the fuel 12,899. That's going to tell you here, confirm initialization. That means there's enough information inside the FMC to start making calculations for our flight. So it's going to say check destination fuel. That's due to the fact I entered a lower level than we would want to fly to make it the 2,000 some odd miles it would take to get to our destination. So, next you would go to the takeoff page. I'll show you this real quick. As you can see, there's a lot of things you can input that it can calculate. Here's the takeoff page. Basically, it's going to ask us what runway we would want here at TNCM. And if we would want to SID, the standard instrument departure, which is basically a highway in the sky to get you into a jetway, or if you were doing a landing page, it would want a STAR, a standard terminal approach procedure. And we don't want to do that. We just want to, use the standard leave the runway, because we're just doing a simple direct to here. So we just activate that, and then it's going to ask us for our takeoff data. And we're just going to go in here and say, normally you would listen to the ATIS, the Automated Terminal Information System on Flight Sim, but just for sakes of time, and this is a review, we're just going to put in that there's no wind. And as always, Flight Simulator X, all runways are at 0 slope unless it's an add-on airport. Anti-ice is off. If we wanted to change that to on, you'd click over here, but it's off. The reason it's asking for that is anti-ice reduces performance due to the fact that you're bleeding air off the engines to run the anti-icing systems, and it's going to ask our flap setting. And again, it's telling us it has enough information to go ahead and calculate what we need. So it's going to tell us that our takeoff weight is 34,130 pounds. The runway we're taking off from is 7,070 feet long, and we will require 5,100 feet of it. So another nice feature of this aircraft is we can go right into V-speeds. And we can go ahead and select all our V-speeds and put them right into the speed tape, which is a really, really nice feature. V-speeds, basically, V1 is takeoff decision speed. Once you're past that speed, you're committed to takeoff, regardless of what happens. Rotate is when you start putting backward pressure on the stick to raise the nose, and V2 is usually when the aircraft comes off the ground. It's just nice. Once you put them on the speed tape, your first officer will call them out. So since we set the flaps for takeoff at 15 degrees, we'll go ahead and make that adjustment now. You can see on the center display here that we have the slats coming down and that the flaps are lowering to 15 degrees. You'll also notice that we have a stab trim indication here. And what that's telling us is what trim we need to go ahead and take off. And so basically, any different flap setting, stabilizer setting, anything like that will require a different takeoff trim. So that's calculating all that for you. What is trim? Well, trim's easier to explain in real life due to the fact that trim releases pressure on the control yoke or the joystick. If you're flying this plane in real life and you let go of the stick, it would trend up or down. Not only that, you would be putting back pressure or forward pressure on the stick to make the airplane go where you want to go. You adjust trim to reduce that back pressure or forward pressure. So basically, you want to trim the aircraft to what you want it to do. You don't want to be fighting it all the time. You want to get the aircraft stable at all points in the flight. So if you let go of your joystick on your computer and the nose is trending down, you want some up trim. But once you give it some up trim, you're going to notice once it gets stabilized, it may speed up and it's going to start going up again. Well, that's because there's more air coming over the trim tabs. So as you go faster, the less trim you need for the same effect. So it's one of those things you always have to play with. And of course, this has an advanced autopilot system that takes care of most of it for you as long as it's turned on. If you are hand flying the aircraft, though, you will need to trim it some here and there. But it's a very nice flying aircraft that doesn't require a lot of trim maintenance. So basically, it's telling us our waypoint is 2,515 miles away. We're going to go ahead and flip the CDI over here to FMS1 and select FMS as our master. And at that point, we could ask for clearance from the tower and go ahead and take off. That's the navigation. As you can see, it's got a pretty deep FMS on it. I would give this plane 5 out of 5 stars for the navigation. I've had no problems with the FMS or FMC on this aircraft. It's been very reliable, and I hope you stay tuned for the next review from Flight Sim Reviews. Thanks.